The Taliban's spring offensive is in full swing. The militants attack almost anywhere they want in Afghanistan. One of the latest targets of the militant group was the capital of the western province of Farah. The city is heavily guarded by Afghan forces and U.S. air power. But Taliban militants fought their way in this week and killed over 24 security forces and several civilians before suffering heavy casualties. Authorities hailed the security operation, saying that the Taliban was finally forced to leave. But experts say such assaults show the militant group has the capability to attack well-protected areas at will.
I suppose you could call it a guerrilla war in a certain sense. The Taliban is waging against the US, and in that kind of a guerrilla war, the people in their own country, defending their own country, have much better access to intelligence effectively than the invading army. So it's no surprise that the US has very bad intelligence in Afghanistan, because I don't think anybody wants them there. So who's going to talk to them? How are they going to access useful intelligence if everybody sees them as an invading army and won't speak to them?
Over the past months, Farah has witnessed heavy clashes. Police, soldiers, and even elite special forces units in the city have suffered heavy casualties. The Taliban have proved resilient despite a recent surge in the number of U.S. forces in the country. The surge took place as part of the U.S. President Donald Trump's initiative for Afghanistan, which was unveiled in August of last year. Trump boosted America's assistance to the Afghan government by deploying thousands of additional forces and intensifying airstrikes to halt Taliban advances and push them back. But the militant group is still posing a major threat to the government in Kabul. The militants appear to maintain the initiative nationwide, while government forces struggle to respond. Experts say the fact that the Taliban still retains the capability to launch attacks across Afghanistan indicates that America's strategy is failing.
I think it's a problem of all empires and their imperial conquests, where they go into other countries and think they can have it all their own way effectively and defeat any enemies within that country, but they don't realize that they're the foreign invader basically. And the Taliban obviously would have what's called the Taliban, the people living in Afghanistan for a long time, would have a lot more support among sections of the local population.
17 years have passed since the U.S. invaded Afghanistan as part of its so-called war on terror. The country has become the longest war ever in America's history, and there is no end in sight to the conflict. Some estimates suggest the cost of the Afghan war will eventually cost American taxpayers trillions of dollars. Yet the U.S. has failed to effectively fight militancy. America's militaristic approach is even believed to give Afghans reason to join the ranks of the Taliban. Some analysts say the U.S. does not seriously want to end the war because it allows America to keep its forces in one of the most geopolitically important parts of the region.
The U.S. invaded bombed and occupied Afghanistan in 2002. That was the point from the very beginning. This silly narrative, this fantastic mythological narrative about going after Osama bin Laden, trying to find Osama bin Laden, or waging a war on terror was nonsense from the very beginning, and everybody with any sense can see that now. The point of going into Afghanistan and Iraq in 2003.
The Afghan war drags on with more deaths and destruction, and it's the Afghan people who have to put up with the unending misery every day.